Mr. Moses Bodea is the Executive Assistant for GOLDINVEST Edelmetalle. He is presenting on rethinking gold ownership in India. As you're all aware, GOLDINVEST Edelmetalle, a company focused on precious metals trading and fintech, Mr. Bodea serves as a strategic and operational partner to the executive leadership, supporting initiatives that integrate physical gold ownership with modern payment systems. Through GOLDINVEST, he contributes to enabling physical gold to function both as a stable reserve asset and a practical source of everyday liquidity, leveraging digital platforms and global payment networks. His work is central to GOLDINVEST's innovative model that allows customer to hold gold securely in vaults and convert portions into fiat currency for spending, enhancing gold's usability in daily financial transactions while maintaining asset integrity. Mr. Moses Bodea plays a key role in managing the digital and operational systems behind this gold-backed payment ecosystem, ensuring compliance with regulatory standards and delivering a seamless customer experience. And how do they manage that? Let's find out more from Mr. Moses Bodea.
Namaste, and thank you very much for the warm welcoming. This is actually my second visit to India, and in my first visit, I didn't really know what to expect. So I've heard all the stories, of course, about the traffic and the festivals and the food, and I've gotten all of that. It was wonderful. In fact, I even had some of the best meals of my life here. But what struck me most wasn't something I found, but something I didn't: gold. Now, don't get me wrong here. Gold is everywhere in India, and you know that. But it wasn't in the form I expected to find. It wasn't kept securely in banks or vaults. It was worn. It was on people. It's a testament to family's journey and a physical representation of prosperity and security carried close to the heart. And yet, after living and working here for some time, I began to wonder, is this the most strategic way to hold something that's so valuable? Perhaps the answer lies not in choosing between culture and finance, but in rethinking how we can hold gold in a way that honors both. And that is the question I want to explore with you today. Now let me start with a telling comparison just to put matters into perspective. You see, Austrian, German, and Swiss households have 5,000 tons of gold combined. Sounds like a lot, right? Now how much do you think Indian households have? 25,000 tons of gold, and that's just the official number. Estimates even go to 30,000 or above. Nearly 12% of all the gold that's ever been mined on Earth are sitting in this country right now. And the fascinating part is not just the sheer quantity, but it's also its form. You see, while in Europe and the US and many other parts of the world, gold is mainly held in the form of standardized coins and bars. It serves as a portfolio diversification and a tool against inflation. In India, the overwhelming majority of gold is held in the form of jewelry. Now, why is that? Because jewelry in India has always been more than a simple asset. It's been a social contract, and during times of uncertainty, political changes, or uplift, it served as a portable reserve of value. During the colonial times, the reliance was further deepened when formal banking systems were mistrusted or inaccessible to the masses. So, while in Europe, gold is seen as a financial instrument, in India, it is cultural tradition. And the challenge for us today lies in preserving that tradition, while also making sure gold serves the people with the efficiency of a true financial instrument. Now, to dismiss jewelry as mere tradition is simply not true. The truth is, it played and it still plays a vital economic role, having served many different purposes. For once, as I've mentioned, it serves as a store of value, especially in uncertain times and when paper money could not be trusted. In so, it was also highly portable and gave its holder geographic flexibility. But not only that, jewelry was also used as a mechanism to signal solvency and honor, crucial to social standing and culture, whereas it also plays a vital role in India's rich gifting tradition. And not only that, jewelry can also be used as collateral, pledged in formal and later informal systems. So it's no surprise that weddings, harvests, and festivals account for 50% of India's annual gold demand. Buying gold during these times is not just a ritual, but it's a fundamental economic transaction. However, as a financial instrument, jewelry carries some significant structural weaknesses. Uncertainty regarding its purity often make for a hard time, both for buyers and sellers, agreeing on terms like pricing, quality, and quantity. Hallmarking has been just recently began to solve these problems. Nonetheless, over my journey so far, I've met with countless partners and clients that they still feel ripped off in this process. By far, the biggest disadvantage of jewelry, in my opinion, are the high making charges of 10 or even 25% in some cases. Just think about it, having to pay a quarter more just to receive the same amount of gold. These making charges serve as an upfront premium, but one that is so high that it's rarely recovered on resale. Speaking of resale, which again makes for a hard time, especially for sellers agreeing on terms due to confusing policies. Here again, I've heard the main concern from my partners that they don't get the exact value for the money they have originally invested. So this is precisely why when families or people need quick liquidity, they rarely sell their jewelry, but they pledge it. Today, 5,000 to 6,000 tons of gold are being pledged at licensed institutions. Remember, that's more than 3 major European countries possess combined. So this is a vast pool of capital, but one that is trapped in sentiment, rather than flowing freely with the efficiency of a true financial instrument. Now the question is, how can we free that capital without losing what makes gold so meaningful? And for that, we have to shift our perspective onto bullion. See, bullion is not an ornament. Bullion is gold and is standardized in the form of standardized coins and bars. A kilobar of 24 karat purity gold in Zurich is equivalent to one in Dubai, Singapore, or London. It is global recognition and trust. This is why especially LBMA certified bars are not only looked out for by investors, but also by central banks and financial institutions. Bullion speaks the language of the market. Purity, liquidity, standardization, universality. Those are attributes that make bullion tradable across the world without almost no loss, friction, or doubt. So if jewelry is tradition, then bullion is transition, the conversion from cultural wealth into financial capital, empowering the user rather than holding them hostage to sentiment. This dynamic can be further visualized by the following graph. What I have here behind me is the price for 1 troy ounce of gold of the last 25 years. Now what do you think happens if you also add the pricing for bullion with an average of 2% premium over this time frame? Not much. The difference is quite small and neglectable, even when prices increase. What I don't find neglectable is the difference for jewelry pricing to the spot market. What we can see in the early 2000s, the prices stay quite closely together. But as time advances, so does the gap between the pricing for jewelry and the spot market. If we take into consideration the spread, which means the difference between purchasing and selling prices, we get the following graph. As we can see in black for bullion, the spread is quite minimal and again, neglectable. What's not neglectable is the spread for jewelry, exceeding $500 or even more in purchasing and selling prices. Now, in order to understand today's market, we must first revisit history. You see, India's relationship with gold is one intertwined with its countless policies and also the unintended consequences. As you're all aware, in the 1960s, the government introduced the Gold Control Act. The idea was quite simple. Reduce the national obsession with gold, reduce also imports, and direct and channel domestic savings into more productive assets. Private citizens were banned from owning gold in the form of coins and bars. Bullion had to be declared and converted to jewelry, which was also restricted to 14 carats or less. Now, the outcome was precisely the opposite of what was intended. You see, demand did not vanish, but it moved underground. And a vast, sophisticated gray market for smuggled gold flourished. The official gold market was effectively killed, and the government lost precious revenue. Finally, in 1990, the act was repealed during a time of economic liberalization, which signed a new and modern approach to gold. With the introduction of GST in 2017, a major step towards formalization was set. Bullion is taxed at 3%, while jewelry has an additional 5% on its making charges, reinforcing the advantage of bullion over jewelry. Additionally, the government's decision to make hallmarking for gold mandatory in 2021 and for jewelry just this month, for 1st of September, has also been crucial to building consumer trust and ensuring purity across the market. And the journey continues. With the launch of the IIBX in Gift City, a landmark was set. It serves as a single and transparent gateway, allowing qualified jewelers to trade at an international level. This move aims to reduce inefficiencies in import, as well as directly challenge the gray market, offering a legitimate, globally integrated platform. What's quite interesting is that India receives to this day most of its gold from two countries, Switzerland and the UAE. However, alongside this, a number of dealers have emerged, allowing investors to buy and sell gold at fractions from all around the world. And digitalization is further beginning to bridge the gap between cultural wealth and financial demand. Fairly enough, that's exactly what we at GOLDINVEST are doing here. So you can see that the present is one of profound changes, caught between the legacy habits of the past and modern reforms of the future. And in order to summarize this some way, we can say that India's past relationship with gold is tradition, and the present is transition, which means that the future must be transformation. You see, globally, the bullion market is being digitalized at an astonishing pace. Think about tokenization, blockchain-backed reserves, and fractional ownership. They're not just theories anymore, but they're live markets. Just imagine for a second that if every gram of gold gifted at a wedding were both a blessing as well as a verifiable asset, or every coin you own would be linked back to its origin through a blockchain ledger, guaranteeing authenticity and reducing the risk for fraud. What if physical gold were to be tradable worldwide at fractions 24/7? Because this is where the solution to the gray market truly lies. By offering a traceable, transparent, and interconnected ecosystem which reduces the incentive for smuggling, whilst also digitalization is reducing inefficiencies in import and storage. You see, this is the frontier where companies like Amos Technology, for example, are working towards, not on replacing tradition, but on ensuring that it's protected with efficiency. India's national gold reserve is amongst the biggest in the world. Unlocking just a fraction of that could fuel investment and growth at a scale few other measures could. So let me leave you with this. Tradition is not about doing what our ancestors did. Tradition is about taking what is essential and adapting it to the future. That's how we can truly hold on to what is essential and our heritage. India's relationship with gold is unlike any I have seen in the world. It's cultural, emotional, and spiritual. But the way how we think about gold, how we hold it, pass it on, and secure it, that is our choice. So let us not wait for tomorrow, but let us begin today in transforming our tradition into our own legacy. With that, I thank you. Dhanyavad.